Hey, Sammy fam. Welcome to my new home. Woo. So excited to be here today. So excited to eat all this Indian food. Miso, the second you hear me talking, you come running. But this is not for you, buddy. And I'm so grateful that even though I moved from New York City to Albany, a comparatively small town, still there seems to be great Indian food, great huge variety of food. There's like a Taiwanese place I already love. There's a Vietnamese place I already love. So I was a little bit worried I wouldn't have the diversity of food I'm used to, but it seems like we're already winning. So today we got these Sami Kababs. I had to buy them because they're named Sammy, but I think they're beef, jalapeno cheese naan, Indian flavored fried chicken Tikka Masala and rice. What is this called? Paneer Pakora or something. I think it's fried cheese. Got a whole bunch of various sauces. Super excited. Indian food is one of my favorite foods, so I'm gonna try one of these fried cheese balls. That's super good. I'm not sure what sauce here to try first with it. The brown one's kind of tangy. The green one are delicious. Red and chunky. Is that what you call a chutney? And then this looks like ketchup, but almost tastes a little fruity. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with the herbiness. I think it will go well with this cheese. That's good. Or just that chicken sauce. Wow. I'm so happy. Everything has been super hard. This house has been way more work than we thought we were signing up for, and way more expensive. But, we're making it work. I just started my taxes actually 10 minutes ago, and I found out I'm getting a lot of money back for putting in this high efficiency stove. So, I'll take what wins I can get. But overall, I was really nervous about this adjustment. Moving from an apartment to a house, moving from New York City to a small town. Gotta take a chicken bite real quick. It's got that good crunch. But everything's been, working out as best we can do it. And I know my cat, Miso, loves having a huge house to run around. I was worried that, my morning walks, it's just, a habit of mine, will get really boring. Because there's not as many places to walk. But, I'm finding more and more places. And even though there's less people out, I have seen some of that, classic New York crazy that I used to see all the time in New York City. But this morning, walking through a beautiful park, and there's snow everywhere, the lake is frozen, and there's a homeless guy. Maybe he wasn't homeless, maybe he was just crazy, but he's out in the middle of the lake, and I see him, and I'm immediately I'm the only other person in this park, and so I don't want to be responsible when he falls through the ice. What am I gonna do, right? I can't go out there and help him. I'll fall in too. Just call 911, stand back, look around and see if there's one of those ice ladders to throw out to him. I don't want to mess up my nice winter coat that my wife got me for Christmas either. I think it's dope. It's duck down. My cat loves the smell of it. But luckily none of this came to be a problem. because the minute I saw him, he took off sprinting across ice. Sprinting across ice, which seemed more dangerous because you're like stomping on it. But he made it to the edge and got back on dry land. No idea what that was about. This chicken tikka masala is so moist and juicy. I love anything that's cooked in a sauce, because it's guaranteed a lack of dryness. Let's try these beef patty ball things. Oh, so delicate. It's a little meaty, but it's also like chickpea-y. Lots of garlic. Garlic and some other fresh herbs I can't place because I'm not that educated on Indian food. But super good. Saffron, I'm guessing. And the color, wow. This feels like a really good way to make a little bit of meat go a long way. Because you just let the tiny amount of meat flavor this whole patty. It's mainly made up of like beans. And the like Indian curry seasoning on this fried chicken. Wow. Like, I like American fried chicken, but a lot of the times it can get kind of bland with salt being the main flavor. Like, I can't really eat fast food fried chicken because of that. It's just salt. But, you know, Popeyes will give you a little zing. Or if you make it at home, you put whatever you want in there. Get some chili in there, get that pepper, get those curry seasonings, turmeric, paprika. I tried the smoked paprika with the chicken before, but I like my chicken super crispy. So using the smoked, you end up kind of like doubling up on the smoked flavor, because you got to be careful with the spices. You know, they'll burn as you're frying up your chicken. There's like so many flavors you can use other than just salt. I know KFC talks about their herbs and spices, but I don't think they got none. Not anymore, at least. Not that, I don't think I was ever even alive during the time in which the original Colonel Sanders owned KFC. But once it was sold, I know he kind of disowned it because he was disappointed in what happened to their chicken recipe. You gotta try the fried chicken from places you wouldn't expect the fried chicken to be good at. At the Indian restaurant. There's still a whole bunch of restaurants I want to try here. A whole bunch of recipes I want to try here. One of the weirdest things I found is super popular here is they like to dip like Italian American food, fried foods in raspberry syrup. They call it something else. I forget what they call it, but like instead of using like marinara or like tomato pasta type sauce to like dip your fried mozzarella sticks in, they'll dip them in like sweet, thick raspberry syrup. The locals swear it's good, but I don't know if I really believe them. Oh, we gotta get into this jalapeno bread. I love a warm toasty naan. It's so thick and fluffy. Get this in here. Get some of this herbiness in here. That's it. That's it. That's all. I don't know about that raspberry sauce. I'm also not used to just the social way people act here. I'm used to, just going about my own business. I try not to get in anybody else's way. I don't want people to get in my way. It's not a rudeness thing. It's just we're all living our lives. Do your part to contribute to the efficiency of a society. But here, people are a lot more eager to try to talk to you, interact with you, which is so weird after living in New York City for a long time. It reminds me more of where I grew up. Though I grew up in Missouri, which now is full of, weird kind of racist, scared people. So I bet they're not as talkative as they used to be. But here people are chill. And, you'll just be walking down the street with headphones in. People say, hi, good morning. And you're just like, oh, hey. And I feel rude that, I wasn't ready for them. But, yeah, I'm listening to music or a podcast or something. It's just my own little me time as I'm going along. But I don't want to seem like the dick, around town. I did have one guy motion for me to take out my headphones when I was standing in line at a grocery store. And it turned out he just wanted to make a joke about the self-checkout not working. He said, oh, I guess the computer didn't want to come into work today. What do I say to that? I just had to go, and then, I had my headphones in my hand, just kind of put them back in. And then he kept talking. But I didn't catch any of it. I just, Another time at the grocery store, a lady turned around to me and said, nobody wants to work. Because we were waiting in line. And it was the 23rd of December. So yeah, there's a lot of people at the grocery store getting Christmas stuff. I'm like, ma'am, there are lots of people working here. It's one of the busiest days of the year. Also, you and I are not working. What right do we have to complain? I'm here at the grocery store instead of working right now. And that whole no one wants to work, falsehood and mentality pisses me off. It's like, people want to work and people want to be paid enough for their work. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm sure the people working at the grocery store dealing with the crowds on Christmas Eve are not getting paid enough for all the bullshit they have to deal with. So cut them a little slack. Those were the only two kind of negative interactions. So mainly just people waving, and I'm not ready to wave back. I'm just startled. And today I'm walking in the park and I'm the only person there. And the guy drives by in, a giant snow plow with the salt spreader on the back and stuff. And, I'm just trying to get out of his way to leave most of the road for him. And he looks up and waves his hand at me. And I instinctually, turn around to see if there's anyone behind me. Because I learned my lesson quick when I first moved to New York City. That if someone's waving at me, they're not. They're waving at someone behind me. And I embarrassed myself a couple times. And then never waved back to anyone ever again. But this is the first time a stranger has been waving at me. And I felt so silly and weird because I've not waved at anyone in 12 years. I mean, I hope he was waving at me. I still doubt that he was waving at me, even though I was the only person there. Maybe he was just like me. Like after my surgery, he was exercising his arm mobility. Checking his range of motion. Speaking of, I did have someone ask me recently how my arm was doing after, if you guys have been around for a while, you know that I fell down the stairs back in April of 2023, shattered my elbow, had to have surgery to put it back together with a bunch of metal and rods, spent a couple days in the hospital, and then had to do like 3 or 4 months of physical therapy. Well, I just had another surgery. I had all the metal taken out, but I can still move it. It hurts a little bit more than before the second surgery, but the idea is that now I won't have the irritation of metal underneath my skin, which will be great because it had been bothering me. And it's already starting to feel better and heal up. I have some, these aren't bandages, these are, I don't know the right word for them, scar away strips or something like that. They just help moisturize and loosen scar tissue. And while I am a vain man and hope that it'll help my appearance, the bigger issue is that when you have scar tissue over a joint, it limits your mobility, and loosening it up will just help me get back to normal quicker. I don't think I'll ever be able to go completely straight out, but pretty much close. I've been having to test it really frequently because it snows here all the time. It's another huge change. We don't own a car yet, but I am legally required to shovel the sidewalk within 24 hours of a storm, which I understand and I respect. I'm glad other people do it too. Some slumlords do not do it. And since I live near a lot of rental properties, that's upsetting. It makes it harder to walk to the grocery store, but I usually don't have to shovel the driveway if we don't have a car, except that we keep having visits from like construction company salespeople or people coming to like measure something for a project, or we have all these different projects going on around the house, and somebody will call and say, "Oh, we're coming out today at 3 o'clock to take some measurements in the basement for your foundation repair." And I'm like, "Well, okay, I gotta go shovel the driveway, I guess." Luckily, not more than a few inches of snow at a time so far. So it's not the worst to shovel, even with my limited strength in this arm and pain, but it seems to happen like once a week. But I'm super excited. All this work getting done means eventually, hopefully by the end of 2024, we'll have this house pretty up to shape. We've gotten all new windows installed. I painted the fireplace, and we had a wood stove installed. Getting new doors installed soon. Already booked that. I didn't realize doors are so expensive. I thought if we didn't get like custom carved hardwood or something, it would be, you know, a few $1,000. But a front and a side door, like $15,000. Crazy. Getting the foundation repaired, concrete flooring poured in the basement. I'm replacing our hot water heater and our boiler from like the 80s with a combination boiler that will provide hot water, radiant floor heating, and hot water for the radiators that we have that heat the house. So many projects going on. But we still need to redo the kitchen, redo the bathroom, rebuild the front porch, tear down the falling apart garage behind the house. Chicken skin. Landscape the front and back of the house. For some reason, there used to be a driveway that went behind the house. The previous owner tore it up and then left the like pavement debris mixed in with the soil. So he left me a lawnmower. Said, "Oh, if you want, I can just leave this lawnmower for you." I said, "Great." And then I walked through the backyard and found it was full of just like rocks, dog toys, and pieces of the old driveway that for some reason he had torn up. I'm like, well, I can't use a lawnmower with all this debris here, so I need to get someone to come out and like, I don't know, what do you call it? Like bring a bobcat and scoop off the surface. The craziest thing happened to me though, working in the yard. When I first moved here, it was like the end of fall, I guess, late October, and all the leaves were falling, and the trees around this house lose so many leaves. So I was raking, and my wedding ring came off and fell into the leaves. I couldn't find it. I was so sad. I immediately went and ordered a replacement. And for about 2 months, I wore the replacement. Until one day I was going out back to get some wood for the fireplace. And laying there on the ground was this shiny gold band. And it was my original wedding ring. So now I have 2 wedding rings. But, you know, my heart will always be with the original one. But it's nice to have a backup. And I have a new rule, which is I do not wear my ring to do yard work. Even though I was wearing gloves. Somehow it came off in my glove and then fell through the glove out into the ground. I don't know. The jalapeno cheese naan. I like garlic naan, but the little spice from the jalapeno, it's to die for. Well, I'm getting pretty full. That was a huge feast. And I have, wow, the jalapenos hit me. And I have a bunch more housework to do before the day is over, so good seeing you guys. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.